Well, it's Tuesday, June 2nd, and I don't know if you can hear the thunder, but it's raining lightly. It's not bad. So I didn't water today, but the ground's a little bit damp anyway, as you can see. The herbs have been pretty happy. This stuff still hasn't sprouted, so I can't remember what was in it, but we're not going to have whatever that is if it doesn't come up. Spinach is looking good. It is bolting. We've pulled off a few bolt heads trying to delay it, but it's just getting hot. There's nothing you can do. Came out this morning and my onions had all laid over, but the blooms haven't opened, except for this one is starting. You can see that little papery layer on the outside is starting to come open, and the seeds are popping out. We really need that to open up so I get seeds for next year. I did put in some more strawberry plants because we want a lot of strawberries, and this isn't a lot of plants. This is just a tiny little bit. It won't be enough to feed our family, but it's enough to get a strawberry for everybody every morning. That'll be enough. We also put in marigolds with a lot of our plants. They're annuals here for sure, and I won't be putting them back in around the blueberries because blueberries don't like to compete for resources, so I don't want to have competing plants around them and their root systems. But the blueberries are really starting to form. I'm hitting the wrong thing there. They've really greened up and starting to swell. I'm going to have to put bird netting over them before too long, or we won't have any blueberries, but the birds will. And that is not my goal. I hate birds. This plant is really perked up. You can see, I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but this up here is a much different green than this down here. It's really, the new growth is showing up big time on certain varieties and not so big time on others. This still has transplant rust on it, if you can see the red. Some of the marigolds were open when I bought them. Some have opened since I bought them, and some of them are still all closed up. Well, that one's, there's a little one right there that's all closed up. That's a new bulb since I got it. He's not looking good, folks. This bush has been ravaged. I don't know what got it, but it has been ravaged. I'm afraid it's gone. More marigolds, the peppers there coming in. Now, I still don't see any growth from our, good grief, cucumbers. They haven't come up yet. But this leaf that you're seeing here is squash. Our crookneck squash is coming up, and so we'll get that on the trellis as soon as it gets tall enough. It's just now coming up. It's been a good week around here. Sorry, I'm playing in the dirt. I have no idea where you're seeing. Peppers, the basil. This has been so much fun. We've had lots and lots and lots of mushrooms of all different shapes and all different colors. They've been, see, they'll show up and then they'll bloom and kind of keel over like this one did. This one behind the grate there has been there for a while. I guess he can't lay over, but anyway, it just means there's a lot of fungal activity in our wood chips, which is good because it's a fungal breakdown process. And you can see here all the fungus as they start to break down. That's what all that white is. That's fungus. So it's starting to break it down. I need to get out here and prune the tomatoes. It's been about a week. Marigolds, you don't want to get any suckers on them, so you gotta pull those out of the crotches every week. This basil plant survived. I snapped off its roots. When I was putting it in, it wound up not being positioned the way I needed it to be in the hole, so I turned the whole thing and the root ball snapped in half. And I thought it would die, but it's come back. Another little mushroom. Oh my goodness, here's a lot more mushrooms. There we go. Tomatoes are doing well. I had my peas all on these strings, but they seem to have decided they want to do their own thing. So I'll have to come out here and retrain them. These two strings got tied together because of the little tendrils reaching across. Thanks a lot, guys. More work. Oh well, gardening's fun. It's fine. Everything's coming along. If you see all this black stuff, that's coffee from Starbucks. Everything they do comes out in these little pods. So I wind up throwing the pods out in the wood chips. It's a lot of nitrogen, and it helps to break down the wood chips, which are all carbon. And that's how the process gets started. These wood chips had no leafy material in them at all. And if I hadn't done this, they would just sit here as a mulch and not break down, or at least break down very, very, very slowly, which I don't want. I want them to break down because I want their nutrients. Peppers are coming in. These are those leftover transplants I had of tomatoes after I had planted the garden out, everything I wanted. I was going to put some more pole beans here, but I wound up using the tomatoes I already had. And when I put them in, they looked so sad. They're coming back now. The sage is doing very well. Now these are my San Marzano tomatoes. If you don't know what those are, they're a very expensive tomato canned from Italy. And I'm going to be growing them. The zucchini has put on a whole bunch of new foliage, and a lot of it has holes in it. It means we have insect activity, but I'm not worried about it. Lettuce is here. It's just really slow. I thought lettuce would grow much faster than that, but not in this particular spot, which is shaded for much of the day. And then the pole beans, I only have, it looks like 2 of them that germinated. And that's disappointing. I don't think it's too late. I may come out here and just replant some more. The seeds were a year past the date, but I thought pole beans would be good for 5 years. Anyway, we got our raspberries this week. These are one of the original plants that were here. That's marigold. But this was a new raspberry plant. We bought what were they, gallons? I guess they were gallon sized. Anyway, this one had snapped in half. I took the top half and tried to put it right in the ground. That didn't work, just for the record. You can't do that. At least not that way. All the rain's picking up. That was another raspberry plant in there, but I don't see anything on it. This is one of our new transplants. This is our 3rd one that already existed. And here's the 3rd new transplant. I'm getting rained on really badly now. I'm probably going to go inside soon. Blackberries. Blackberries. These are marigolds in between, by the way. Blackberries. Marigold that has not opened up. Blackberries. Blackberries. All of them came back, by the way. This is the one I said was probably dead last week. And that's green foliage right on top. Marigold and blackberry. And that's the end of it down here. Apple trees. Here's one of them. Rachel said she was having a hard time seeing the apples because of all the foliage in the way. And she's right. But there they are. They're growing. And let's see. Oh my goodness. Just getting soaked. Let's see if I can see any apples over here. I haven't seen one yet. I don't see any. Oh well. Maybe someday. Our watermelon transplant is very sad. He's dying. I think. I don't understand what's going on. The soil is very moist. The pumpkin that sprouted has its first true leaves. He's doing really well. And these watermelon seeds have done nothing. They're not happy. I wound up moving the trees out here into the wood chips because we had them blowing over. And so I put them out here. I dug the wood chips and soil out of the way, put them right on the ground, and then put everything up next to it. I already know the roots can go out the bottom of the thing, of the pots, and take root in the soil. They're not going to stay this way. I'm going to pull them actually all the way out, put landscape cloth inside of these pots, and then put them in there so the water can still drain out, but the roots can't get out the bottom. So that's the plan. I just hadn't had a chance to do it yet. Thinned out a carrot because they're very, very close together in there. So I thinned out a carrot and ate it this morning. And it was a piddly, wimpy little thing, but it tasted like a carrot.